Hello and welcome to round one with Nahiri Knight. We are on the play. We have a great hand. The only question is how we curve out with it. I think we're almost guaranteed to have to play the Stomping Ground untapped. So we'll just figure out what we want to fetch next turn. Hand's pretty sweet. All these are cards that I really enjoy casting, especially this one. I'm surprised I haven't played more Dragonlord Silumgar, considering how much I enjoyed casting Zealous Conscripts. Just the ability to steal a Planeswalker and then just do something stupid with it is so nice. I guess... No, that was... interestingly wrong, possible. Well, that... I now have a new game plan. I don't want to cast Knight next turn. I'm just going to bolt that right down. Is that a gut shot that's getting cast? Oh, we're playing against Suicide, whatever people like to call that deck now. I'm not huge on bolting down the Swiftspear right here. I think against... I thought this kind of indicated burn, so my plan was to bolt that down. But in that matchup, I think I actually just want a Misty for a basic and play Knight. Who do they target? Targeting me. So they know my top card. So I'm just going to play Knight. So the reason actually was that, I would have taken more damage that way. So it's close. The argument over what land I should have played on one is that if I draw a fetch land the next turn, so right there, I could have a 4/4 Knight, which is pretty key because 3 is Lightning Bolt, obviously. Try to one-shot my opponent this game. Oh my gosh! If I stay, I won't be able to stay at high enough life. But I can conscripts a Death... If I was at high enough life, I could conscripts a Death Shadow to kill it. I can also just Nahiri minus the Swiftspear. Save the bolt for something else. Just an interesting spot. Godless Shrine. Thoughtseize, probably taking Nahiri. If Nahiri's not taken, I was going to be blown away. It's kind of an inconvenient life total. I was going to try to get to 13 so that conscripts could Necrotol a Death Shadow, but I do that by oozing this, but it doesn't look like that's how life's going to play out here. I guess I could just rely on conscripts just killing my opponent. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm not blocking. Probably mutagen. Yeah, boo. Now all my plans are messed up. I guess ooze is another thing. I wonder if I'm supposed to take damage so that if my opponent Death Shadows, I can kill them. I'm supposed to bolt there. 8. Guess probably not supposed to do that. I think I'm just supposed to. Looks like I can peck my opponent for 1 with the noble. Okay, so there's a mutagen happening. That's fine. Better it happens now than later. Don't want to pay life, and I want to play ooze. +7. Yeah, am I dead? Probably dead. Bolt the ooze. Oh, not dead, I guess. Thought I was going to get battle rage. Are they just cashing in battle rage? Oh, become immense? Sure. Man. That was close. So I want things that interact with low drop. So explosives is just one of the best cards against that deck. Lightning Helix is okay, but not super exciting. 8's not great. I don't mind Dispel. Okay, so Path Bolt obviously stay in. Kind of like cutting Stubborn Denial. I mean, Dispel's clearly a better card in the same spot. Definitely want Emrakul. Not huge on some of this stuff, so let's think this through. I'm basically straight upgrading a Stubborn Denial. I don't want to go down that road too much. Here he's great. Conscripts is not very good here. Retreat's good. Path, Visions, can't cut. Could cut an Oath because my relevant cards aren't things that Oath finds. And Courser's good. Witness is good with all the removal I'm boarding into. Not huge on Ooze here. Felt kind of clunk. Yeah, I think this is correct. There's nothing I can flame jab. So my opponent has the classic Wild Nacatl off Overgrown Tomb hand. Great. All of my opponent's permanents are dying horribly. That sounds like exactly how I want to play Magic. I think I want to play this kind of regulated. Like this can get green, red. Tapped, and then I can Heath. Yeah, I'm just thinking through my land fetches. Okay. Um. Yeah, let's just get green red tapped, play this slow, and save my life total as much as possible. I can get green red, white blue, green. That sounds great. Do I care about tying my white to my blue though? If I get white red, green blue is better. Right? Actually tough. I don't want my white tied to my blue, but I don't want it tied to my red either. But nothing you can do about that. think this is the right way. Bolt now so that my opponent can't get damage off mutagen. This is like one of the best routes possible because what's likely going to happen is we're going to explosives for one and blow up multiple creatures next turn. If we get Thoughtseize, that's a problem, but it's a manageable one. Okay. Take the 2 for 1. I guess I could get blue-white here. Oh my gosh, my opponent's stuff is just... Oh, this is getting blue-white, and all of their stuff is dead. Oh my gosh, they've got to be so sad. Engineered Explosives is so good against that deck. Painless damage. Boom. Okay. That was a very, very easy game. Yeah, I find it, unless my opponent has another Death Shadow, I find it hard that they'll be able to come back. Man, Explosives is just brutal. And they're at 6? I think, yeah, I can play the Ghost Quarter. So let's Serum Visions before I make any decisions. I don't want the Township. I do want the Path. And Knight's going to be a 4/4 if I counted right, so I can just cast the Knight and not really care. There's not really anything I'm saving it from. I guess, like, a Dismember here. But I can't really get to... I guess I could have played it with the Ghost Quarter up in a turn. Been super conservative. So, I guess I can Ghost Quarter my opponent's land to keep them off of spells. Kind of like the idea of blowing up their black source here. Yeah. That's the thing worth noting here is that that deck tends to not play basics. So strip mining them is wonderful. No! They drew another black source? It's so lucky. Okay, well, that should probably do it. Big Goofy. 5/6 is bigger than 4. I guess once I knew I had the Path on top, I had time to wait, so I didn't need to... I could have waited a turn to get Knight out of Dismember range. I was thinking double Bolt range, which is impossible to really get out of. But I guess I was even a turn away on that, too, so... Well, that'll teach my opponent real good. Don't get EE'd. I kind of want access to another path into the deck somewhere. Feels like only 2 is kind of light, but maybe I'm wrong. I wonder how much re-sideboarding my opponent's going to try to do here. I don't really know how much that deck can sideboard, though. It's pretty linear. It's worth noting that if Ooze was a less time inefficient, if it didn't cost a million mana to exile my opponent's graveyard with it, card, I would probably be pretty excited to play it in my deck, because that deck's very vulnerable to graveyard hate due to Become Immense. Like, if you can keep them off that, it's really good against them. This hand will do, I guess. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to. I guess I could like mulligan. I guess no, this is fine. I could mulligan for like, I don't even know, what would I be mulliganing for? A path or EE? Lightning Helix plus like a Ewit isn't enough to do what I want it to. I just don't know. I'm gonna take 3 to get a stomping and play the Noble. And I'm gonna be very careful this game with my opponent's life total, as well as mine. So I'm gonna get Wooded Foothills for blue-white. Ah, boo. Guess I get to witness back whatever they take. The fact that the deck plays Thoughtseize is really obnoxious. That card's so good in like a combo deck like that, where like you really need every. It's just like this redundant, like in non-redundant combo, Thoughtseize is just like okay because you have like one fight that you have to fight, but like when your opponent needs a lot of pieces over time to like actually answer all of your things, like that deck you need to kill all of their creatures up the entire way up. Um, it gets really hard to do so once I start Thoughtseize. It's like the same thing with Storm, where like just kind of in Legacy, where like the Thoughtseize effects, the Duress effect, or whatever, like that deck has a lot of avenues to do what it wants to. Interesting. Oh boy. Yeah, I should probably like. That's not a horrid draw. I think I'm casting it off a basic. Well, let's see if I get a third turn or not. It's possible I don't. I can still recur Helix here. I can go Witness, get back Helix, cast it, because Knight effectively taps for a mana by filtering through a land. I will note that deck, Death Shadow, is definitely a beneficiary of Twin dying, not because it couldn't compete on like power level and speed, but really it's because this like Snapcaster Mage Lightning Bolt sometimes just wins the game against it, and it's pretty crazy. If you can like keep some of their creatures off the board for a while, you can definitely have Snapcaster Mage Lightning Bolt kill them. Shoot, this implies a mutagenic. What? I guess they could like bolt themselves. Mutagen is so I don't die to become immense. Mutagenic is a +4 damage here, so I can go to 4, I think. Battle Rage to kill this. I think I just take it. I'm dead to Mutagen plus Battle Rage, but I think I was dead to that anyways. I think I need my knight to fight another day. This might just be a game where I have to pretend they don't have battle rage. Okay, they're just plus sixing, so I go to 2. I gotta deal 10 if I want to do anything real here. The Death Shadow's a 3/3 though. And if they had a mutagen, I was dead. So that makes this turn really easy. So I go 1, 2, 3. Ewit, get back Helix. Tap Knight, sack a forest, get a basic plains, and then Lightning Helix Death Shadow. And then the Witness is going to chump block. I stay out of bolt range. Okay. And our opponent no longer has a creature they can get into battle rage range. This turned out quite nicely. I get to play double Goyf next turn? Jeez. Second main Swiss Spear? Weird. I mean, I'm not casting Canopy. Probably not going to do anything with it. I guess I could, like, turn my Stomping Ground into a forest and sack it, but I don't know if I like that too much. Well, that pumps my Goyfs. I shouldn't F6. I want to actually activate Knight. I guess I could turn my plains into a forest. I don't need the white mana that isn't the Noble Hierarch. Yeah, if my opponent attacks, all their stuff's getting blocked. I think the Knight jumps in front of the Swiss Spear, right? So this can become, if that's a mutagen in hand, this will become a Mensa kills whatever. If it's a battle rage, that goes to a 6 damage, and this can survive because I can get Ghost Quarter and kill one of my lands. If it's plus 3 either. Well, that's plus 3, so I still survive. So yeah. I think it's time for this to attack. My opponent has to throw something onto the bus here. 2, 3, so it's 11 max. So something has to chump. And I can actually put it to lethal while leaving back 3 blockers, because I can go this to forest, pump for 1 with Wolf Run. Actually, yeah. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to, if my opponent chumps, I'm going to pump it for 0 with Wolf Run tapping Noble Hierarch, and then second main cast the Tarmogoyf off of Forest. Just limits my opponent's options. It does make a good Death Shadow, but I think I've gone wide enough that I can kill through a Death Shadow pretty quickly, especially with this. So it's actually possible that this outgrows a Death Shadow. So that becomes a 8/9 if it becomes immense. So whatever, my knight still just crushes it. That's so unreal. Like my opponent just gave a creature +7/+7. It died to my 3-drop. This card is great. So I do that. If the Nicodle gets +6, it goes to a 9, which dies. I'd rather my opponent have Swiss Spear than Nicodle. Oh, that's not green. Dismember. If it dismembers, it trades for a Goyf. That's fine. Yeah, dismember and trading for a Goyf is fine by me. Or trading for a cat. Just like landing the Goyf seems so powerful here. It's like an interesting spot because my opponent, I have to think about like their graveyard for Battle Rage too. So this would be 9, 18. So I need to put 13. So I actually, I'd survive. No, I wouldn't because they'd actually become immense. So I'm actually dead to become immense Battle Rage, but I don't think there's anything I could have done about that. Because the Goys shrink. I need to absorb 13 points, but once my opponent exiles other cards, Goyf is a 3 or a 2/3. Still have one force in my deck, correct? This deck is very Tarmo Twin. Very, very Tarmo Twin. It's worth noting that it is kind of. It's kind of nice that you're like bad against both kinds of graveyard hate and cage and like relic, but each half is only good against half your combo. I'm not fetching there. I wonder if maybe I was supposed to just put all the damage on the Wild Nicodle there. I can still do that, right? Magic Online will still let me. Yep, one more forest. This is interesting. So if I do that, I can't die to become immense next turn, but they need become immense and Battle Rage in their 2 cards. So then they have 2 creatures back, and they're at 10. The become immense will stop me from killing them anyways. So I guess Man, this assignment thing is weird. But the pop-up's nice. Okay, well, I'll just kill their things. I think I'm just dead to become Battle Rage anyways. Hooray, I didn't die. They did. Cool. That would have been nice a turn earlier. That would have been just game over. Yeah, if you ever need to beat Suicide Zoo, this is the card you should play.